welcome at this live stream. I'm really excited. Well, actually, I'm excited every time I do a live stream, but I'm really excited about today. We're doing a Mateus Asato tutorial. So this one is going to be on the song Cryin. I didn't know this song until I think 3 weeks ago. So this was a request from somebody and I looked into it, and it's such a nice groove to play. So that's why I kind of jumped in. I did the transcription that live last week, and this week I created a little bit of a backing track, started playing to it. So I figured tonight's going to be the night to do the tutorial for the song. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it for you first. Hopefully it's going to be without any without the mistakes, but who knows? But I'm going to play it for you first, and then we're going to do this step by step. If there's anything unclear regarding the technique used in this song, then please drop a comment. I love comments, so do go there. Okay, so let's get this party started. Here we go. Let's see. There we go. Boom. There you go. That wasn't too bad. So let's get into this. Let's see. So I want to make sure that I have my chat window open here. So if somebody has a question that I see it coming in. There we go. Okay. So this riff starts with a bit on B minor. So, right, that's the thing. So let me give you a better view there. So we have, so what do you do? So you have your thumb fretting the B on the E string. So that is in 7th. So you play 7, 9 on A, back to 7, index finger, G7, and then ring finger to 9, and you slide up to 11. So, sorry. That's the first bit. Then you get the next bit. Right? So this bit is in E minor. So what you do is you have your index finger on D9 and your pinky is going to be on G12. Right? So that is your E minor chord. So you play E, G, and B string. Play the E string again. Then you go to ring finger 11 on that G. So open E. And then what you do is you add your middle finger on B10. And you play that G and B together. Right? Hammer on ring finger 11 and a pull off. So, and then you end up with pinky on the D in 12. Right? So, right? So we have the B minor one, then E minor, like that. And then we get in a bit that is over A. So what you do is you start with your index finger on 7 of D and G, and you have your A open, you play a rake over A, D, and G, and then you add your ring finger on G9, right? Then you roll that ring finger onto the D string in 9, and from there you make a grace note slide to 11, right? So 9 to 7 to 9. Sorry, yes, so. Okay. Then you get a pretty funky chord here. And I can explain that chord in different ways. I wrote it down in the tablature, which, by the way, is on my Patreon page, as a D major 7 with F sharp on the bass. So what you do, so you have your thumb on E2, ring finger on A4, open D, and then index finger is on G2. Like that. Right? Then what you do is you slide your ring finger and index finger up to where your index finger is in 7. So, right? Then your index finger slides down a half step while your ring finger slides down a whole step. Like that. So you get. Okay? So that is the whole first bit. So we have B minor, E minor, A, D major 7, right? And maybe it's more of a, like an F sharp with a flat 6, maybe F sharp minor flat 6. Maybe that's a better way to call it. In any case. So now let's give you an overview of both my picking hand and my the neck of the guitar, so you can kind of see where the hybrid picking parts are and where it's just being picked. Do I have a better color pick? I don't think so. Right now, oh, I have a purple one. That's going to make it easier to see. I used to have a white one, but I can't find it. Oh, this is not really my thing, but maybe that one's better. Okay, so what do you do? So you start... like that. Again. All right. So what is good to know is that this is the main riff of the song. So what you get now are three variations to that riff. And most of what you're doing is exactly the same. It's the ending of it that's mostly different. Okay. So the second time you play it, it goes like this. So you play. I'm going to use my other pick again because that thing is horrible. Then you get this bit. Sorry. And I'm not kidding. That is the most difficult bit from the whole tune, like the whole tune. So let me show you how that works. I'm going to give you an overview here. So basically, we're in that 7th pentatonic position, right? And then what you do is you do a full tone bend on B10. And then you kind of sort of roll that finger onto the G string and make a semitone slide down to 9, right? Then you have that typical Mateus Asato slide up and down, like so. And then you make a pull up to 7, and then ring finger D9. So you get... Oh, I missed a little bit. So sorry. So you get the bend, the grace note slide down, And then you get 9, 7, and then 9 on D. When I say that this is really hard, I mean, I'm playing it quite slowly now, but the tricky bit is that Mateus adds a slide. I think he comes in from all the way from second position, right? Then makes the bend, the grace note slide down with everything on it. And it's absolutely, I'm still working on it. So, which is why I'm leaving it out when I'm actually playing it, because it is really hard to play. So yeah, so if you want to do it right, the slide starts on second position. You go to all the way to 10, and then you just bend from there. So you don't play it again. You don't pick it again. Right? And then that. So. So let me show you how it sort of fits into that riff. So I'm going to play the whole riff, but now with this new ending to it. So this is how that goes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And there you can already hear that that I'm struggling with it. Like that. Okay. So that was our second way to play it. The third way to play it is almost exactly the same as the first time, but when we get to that D major 7, instead of sliding up to 7th position and then to 6, right, with our minor interval to our major interval. So you add a little bit to it. So it goes like this. So you play that F sharp, minor, slide up to 7, slide up to 9, that same interval, and then you slide down to where your index finger is in 6 and your ring finger is in 7, like that. So you got like that. So when I play that riff with that as the ending, this is what it's going to sound like. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and like that. Okay. So we've already done a good chunk of it. So this is the third ending. The fourth time you play it, there are more things that have changed, or well, let's say it's in a different part of the riff. So it starts the same. So we get, but then instead of sliding to 11, you slide to 12 and you morph it into a full tone bend on 12. So you get, right, a full tone bend, and then you release it on the first beat of the next bar, where you, along with that, play your open E string. Let me show you what that looks like. So like that. Again, 3, 4, and right? Then you go with your ring finger to 11, and then you get that bit where it's all the same as before, right? To A, and then that bit after, right? So the ending is the same as your second ending. It's just in the middle, there's something else that changed. So let me play this for you with both hands in view so you can see the picking as well. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. Okay, so what I want to do now quickly is just play the, what is it? Those first riffs with the backing track so you kind of can see it in action. And I'm going to do that while having both hands in view, so you have a good idea of how everything is done. Here we go. Oh, I thought I turned it on, but I guess I didn't. There we go. Okay, so that brings us to the, I guess, sort of the middle section, or maybe a bridge section of the song. There's a lot of rich chords in here, so let me just get my stuff ready. Okay, so the first chord is going to be, it's a beautiful chord. There's many ways you can name it. I've decided to name it G sus2 add sharp 11. It's basically a G sus2, so which means you have G, D, A, and then the sharp 11 is added on top. So when we're doing that, so let me select this view here. We have our thumb on E3, we have open D, index finger on G2, and middle finger on B2. I guess you could actually also fret both of them with your index finger. I didn't do that before. I'm not sure why, but you can do that as well. So this is what you do. So you start here with that G at sharp 11, I guess. So you play E string and G and B. So that's hybrid picked. Then you play the D string and then the E string. So then you play G and B again with middle finger and ring finger. And you make a hammer with your middle finger in third. So like that. So you get. Then you play D and E again. Then we got this bit. So you have your index finger still on G2 and your thumb, of course, on E3. You play them both with thumb and middle finger. Hammer on with ring finger in 4. Then middle finger is playing B3. And in between, you play your bass note. Then you play open E, hammer on, pull off, and then B string to G string, I believe. So we get. Okay. So let me play that one time with both hands in view so you can kind of see how I do that picking. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Do that again. 3, 4. Come on. 3, 4. Okay, that was better. So then from here, you kind of have this shape and you just push it up until you reach 6th position, right? With your thumb and your middle finger. So the chord that you have here would be a B flat at sharp 11. Right? I guess Mateus Asato really loves his sharp 11 chords. Right? So we have... And just from that, you just slide it up. You keep the pressure because you want to hear that slide. Right? Once you reach here, your position, you replay sort of the bass note of that B flat chord. And then you play. Right? So you play B flat, so the E string. Then you play B string, G string, E string. Then you play E, B, G, D. That's pretty confusing, probably. Then we go into your D major 7th chord. So what you do here, oh, whoops, wrong camera angle. So what you do here is you have your index finger on B5 and your ring finger on G7. And you do a rake over D, G, and B. Hammer on with your pinky. And then you play D, D. So you play the bass note D 2 times and then you just strum the chord. So, okay. So last time. Now, then next, there is something that when I was transcribing it, I was kind of thinking like, what does he actually do? So there is sort of a little bit of a percussive sound in there, which sounds like him sort of raking the strings up and down. So let me show you from this angle. So you get, right? So you have the... something like that. It's when you see it really fast, or when you hear it really fast, you don't really notice it that much. But that's kind of what he does. So you have the rake up and down, and then we get this little riff. Right? And he's kind of famous for these kinds of, double stop and minor third, major third, like intervals moving swiftly up and down the neck of the guitar. So this is what you do. So full disclosure, Mateus Asato uses index finger and pinky for the first one. I prefer to use index finger and ring finger. So it's up to you what you want to do, but that's kind of my way of doing it. So index finger is on D4, ring finger is on A5. So you start with that one. That's your major third. Then you slide it up a half step to a minor third. So now there is a whole step in between these two fingers, right? So you get... Then you slide that up a whole step. So you get... You keep that shape. Now you flatten your index finger and you play D and G. And then you add your pinky on G9. Okay, so you get... Then here you get one of those typical Mateus Asato slide up a half step and slide back down a half step. So... Right? Then you remove that pinky, you play D and G in 7 again, at your pinky again. Then you move that shape down until your index finger is in 4th and you add your ring finger on E6. Right? So this is your F sharp with A sharp in the bass. So we have... Right? Then from here, you drag that down until pinky is on G3, index finger is on D2, and your thumb goes to E2. Then you play D string to E string, right? Then we move all the way up the neck of the guitar, and we're playing F sharp triad here, coming from the A shape, but we're just playing the top part of it. So that is D, G, and B in 11. At your middle finger in 12 on B, pinky 14, and then back to G 11. So, all right. Whoops. Then you slide into B17, and then you bend it. So again, and then you slide up to 18. So, sorry. Yeah. So you slide up a half step to 18, back down to 17. And then you pull off to 15. It's really finicky, I gotta say. So it's a little bit tricky to play this like out of context of the song. Right? Then you go to the following sequence. And I want to point this out that these are spread triads. So what you have is you have your B minor spread triad, going to A major spread triad, to G, to F sharp minor spread triad, right? So, but an easy way to look at these things is just looking at them as your A-shaped B minor chord, but without the pinky, the A-shaped A chord, but not using the string in between, the G string, and then the same for the G and the F sharp, right? So that's good to know. So what do you do? So you have that B minor, you play A string, A, B string, then you play A string with your pick open, but middle finger is on B14, slide up, down, pull off to 12, and then slide down to 10. So get, right? It's a bit hard to make that sound good. So then you go to that G. So that is index finger on A10, ring finger on D12, and pinky on B12. Then we go to that F sharp minor. So that's index finger on A9 and middle finger on B10. And then with your ring finger, you're going to make a grace note slide from G11 to 9. So pull off to 7. Right? So you get again. Then you play your open E, you slide up to 9, to 11, and you slide up to G. Oh, sorry, yeah, it is a G, but it's a G you play there. But I meant you slide up to 12th position. So you get, so when you get this part, and then on that G string in 12, you make a full tone bend, play B10, and then you make a grace note slide from that G12 down to 9. And then we get, of course, again, the Mateus Asato's half step up and down slide. Right? So then we go to first position, And there we play D with F sharp on the bass. So that is index finger on G2, open D, and we have our E string in second. Okay. Then what you need to do is you keep your index finger there. Thumb goes to 3. We've done that before. And then we go back to our original riff, right? So let's see if we can do that. What is it? That interlude. I'm going to I'll play it with both hands in view. Here we go. So let's see. So now we get to the very last time you play the riff. And I believe the riff is a variation that we've already done before. So we get your normal B minor part, E minor part, A, and then this one. So this is basically exactly the same as the very first time you play it. Then you get the ending. So that goes like this. So what you have here is a G add sharp 4. So, or a G2 add sharp 4. Oh my gosh, these names. So what you have is you have your index finger on G2, you have open D, ring finger is on A4, and your thumb is on E3, right? So you play, then you move your thumb to second position, to open, and then you slowly add some fingers. So you add ring finger on D4, you play it, open G, middle finger, B3. Then you add your index finger on the second position of your string, A string. And then you sort of do a rake over all of your strings, right? But what you can also do is add your pinky on E5, which is a sound that I like a lot. It's an extra color in there, but it has an amazing sound to it, right? So that last riff, and that is the whole thing. That is the whole thing. Yeah, so I don't want to make this stream any longer than it has to be. I guess most things were kind of clear because I don't see any questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it nice and short. Next week, I'm going to be here again. 8:15 is going to be a whole different thing. I hope this was helpful. And yeah, if you want the tab for this one, it's on my Patreon page or it's on paytabs.com. Have a wonderful weekend ahead, and I'll see you in the next one.